for our teams.
We will be on Cursed Hollow for game number 1 between Relics and Complexity. So we're going to be looking at a lot of rotations and making sure they can control those tribute pickups.
Yeah, Cursed Hollow, a very large map. And when we did talk to Relics, they said they're very comfortable with that sort of late game passive style. And they know that they're going to really do a lot to get and secure that split push if they can get it.
Jaina's a really good ban here, with the battleground being Cursed Hollow. We've seen her as a first pick, as you mentioned, Gilly, but also she's very good at the poking situation that you need to have around those tributes. So Zeratul will be the follow-up ban here for Complexity. A majority of teams just don't want to play against him.
Absolutely. Void Prison can be a game changer and can change any fight regardless of how far behind you are. So it makes a lot of sense to take him out here, not wanting to deal with him. I mean, Complexity, they have Jack Smith. They know how much of a tool Zeratul is.
Absolutely. So there's the Abathur. Okay, maybe the start of things to come with that split pushing. There's so many different ways you can play with Abathur, whether they want to run Illidan, throw it on those warriors just to make them even more of a bully in lane. We'll have to see what they take with this.
Wow, Relics picking up Abathur is very surprising to me as their first pick, at least for Cursed Hollow. Now, to be fair, Cursed Hollow, Infernal Shrines, and probably Garden of Terror are the maps, or Sky Temple as well, are the maps that you want to pick up Abathur, but you usually see him around 3rd or 4th pick. Taking him early is a big indication of what exactly Relics want to do. Here we go, Complexity following up.
It's a big denial pick, I think, is the big thing. Really, they know the Complexity likes to play this hero a lot, so I like that they're going to grab this first to try to shut down those strategies.
Right, in Complexity, they have an early pickup of Arthas, but they've been showing that they really, really want Arthas, so it makes a lot of sense. Plus, we've seen Abathur and Arthas together. 2 Arthases can really control the tide of a battle, so they're also going to follow that up with Uther.
Yeah, talking to a lot of teams, Arthas for them in the early game is pretty easy to pull off. You can get to the mid game pretty safely if you're doing some nice rotations, and he can also sit in a lane if he needs to, so he's just a great foundation for your team. And then, of course, Uther. Everyone's loving Uther right now. The Divine Shield, the burst heals, they allow you to pull off so many compositions that you can't quite do with other supports.
Yeah, almost makes the rest of that draft completely unpredictable. Are they going to go for those melees? Are they going to just go for more passive style, grab the warriors? They have so many opportunities with this.
Now, Relics have Johanna, but I'm wondering if maybe this won't be the first warrior we see, as we know they like to play that Sonya, and I think everyone would like to see a aww.
Can't go wrong with the leap, but Bala will be the choice here. And really, Relics seem to favor Bala a lot. And, you know, looking at the gameplay that we've been seeing from that team, why not, man? They're always on point. It's never a situation where Bala is really throwing the game for the team. So get a strong foundation, have Johanna tank for you, and move in. Especially with the attack speed from Abathur, Bala can put out a lot of damage very quickly against a hero like Arthas.
For sure. We saw Relics actually picking up a Bala very early in their drafts yesterday, so they are showing that they feel incredibly comfortable on this hero. And like you mentioned, Trick, there's a lot of consistent damage output, and she's a very safe hero to grab. So we're going to move into the next set of bans. Illidan gets taken out, and actually Relics is banning out Sylvanas, which I find very interesting considering we know that they like that late game push, split push style.
Yeah, Sylvanas and Abathur is a little bit, I think, too all in with the split pushing, so they decide, you know what, we're going to ban out Sylvanas so we don't have anything to push back. So that leaves Complexity with different options. Either A, they go for hard engagements like a Tyrael, or potentially they have some kind of global soak like a Brightwing that could be possible. I think a lot of teams are trying to find out that Brightwing is certainly a viable hero in certain situations.
What's interesting to me is we have not yet seen a Leoric in any capacity here, as Complexity are going to pick up Tyrande, and they have fantastic Tyrande play, so I'm really pumped about this. But also Arthas, Uther, Tyrande, this looks aggressive to me, and I'm really, really crossing my fingers. Maybe a Kerrigan, that would be pretty cool.
So it's a great roam squad, and for the reason you guys can see Tyrande's kit, it's got to do with, one, the Hunter's Mark, that trait really amplifying the damage that that target receives, and also the Lunar Flare allows you to follow up those stuns that Arthas is looking to land.
Gotta agree with you. The question is, why is Leoric still floating around? I believe Complexity might want to go with it here, because we've seen Leoric and Arthas a combo so well together, and actually there it is. There is Leoric pick. We're gonna need a major damage pickup here for the 5th hero for Complexity. While Leoric and Arthas can put out decent damage, they are melee, so it's a hard time for them to get de-engaged. So they're gonna have to rely on amazing Lunar Flares from the Tyrande player. Right now, it's on Relics.
They definitely can provide those amazing Lunar Flares, but yes, we do have Leoric finally picked up, and it was so interesting to me just because he does have such good of wave clear, which is very, very nice since this is such a big battleground. But now Relics have their last 2 pickups. We should be looking at a support for one of those here. Malfurion would be my best guess, because Relics really, really like him, but you mentioned their Kharazim play, and there are 2 warriors here sitting on the side of Complexity.
Yes, with the potential of a 3rd even, and Complexity has shown that they can run that as well. So Relics, there's the Kharazim once more. Zayd's going to be hopping on that hero. Made some incredible plays yesterday. I'm so excited to see this.
And why not? This is a perfect composition for Relics to actually pick up Kharazim because of Arthas, because of Leoric, two heroes that are very high in health. Remember, it's 49% of a health pool. It's percent-based how you're going to take out people. And that's why you see Leoric or Arthas getting blown up in fights. So beautiful pickup here from the Relics. Why not play something you're comfortable? Today, you have to pull all the cards to get to BlizzCon.
You really do, and that final card will be a Nubarak. So they're going to have a Nubarak and Abathur. They've got lots of bugs coming into the battle between the Beetles and the Locusts here. Now Complexity have one last pickup. We know it will be damage. What kind of damage will they be putting out? Do you think it's going to be Rexar now, looking at Karazim?
No, there's no way that they could try to pull that. They saw what happened to Furious Gaming yesterday. Kael'thas is actually still on the table. Okay, they're going to go with Raynor. No, this makes a lot more sense. I like this pick. Raynor, a great auto attack here. He can pick up that giant killer at level 13. Is going to, again, do that percent-based damage. And they're in the face of Johanna and Anubarak. It's going to really do a lot to take down those health pools. Big thing, we usually see Hyperion picked up as the heroic for Raynor. Does a great amount of pushing. And considering that they have Leoric as well with Tyrande, I mean, they can just roam around, especially so many options available to Complexity.
And they have the control and they have the AoE with Starfall from Tyrande, the 100 mark, the Hyperion as well, and Arthas and Leoric to control the fight to keep people in that Hyperion and all the area effect. They have a great composition that synergizes very, very well. And because Relics has to come to them because of tributes, they can totally pull off that combo pretty nicely. So it'll come down to how Relics get into the engagements and how they get to the back of Raynor. Because Raynor's very durable, he can knock people back. But if we can get Karazim to blow somebody up and they can take that fight and really move towards Raynor, it can be totally fine for Relics.
Now Trickster, I have talked about it before, but I don't think I've yet to see it this weekend. I want to see a Syndragosa into Hyperion because it is so absolutely fantastic. They could push down structures so fast. But it looks like we are ready for the game, so we'll see if they choose to go that route as we will head into game one between Relics and Complexity.
All right, game number one of the day. On the very far left, you have the Relics, the only regional team left out of North America in the Americas Championship. Relizer, Trinity, Fur, Zaze, and Revenant now here trying to bring the damage on the other far side, the red team. Killybeat.
All right, well, we have the red team with Jaximus playing Leoric, Hans on Tyrande, Caterpillar playing Arthas, Trouble playing Raynor, and playing Uther will be Blinks, making team Complexity.
All right, the bootstraps have begun. All four members down here in the bottom left, and you have the beautiful Caterpillar in the top right corner trying to maybe have a quick gank on that so we can have the members jump in. However, Relics are not fighting. We have members playing very defensively right now. And I think that's a major thing that the regional teams have learned in North America. In the very beginning of the game, they've been playing much more safer. They're used to aggressive strategies where they're from. But here, you kind of have to change it up because there is a lot of rotation happening, especially with Arthas, Tyrande, and Leoric.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you see teams going straight for the mid like we saw Complexity do. Try to clear that out as fast as possible and then rotate in, maybe even looking to pick somebody up. But if you're not feeling confident with that very, very early fight, then you do just start to split up in your lanes right away. You're already very ready for the soak as soon as minions come in. So that's why we saw Relics do that.
Abathur already showing he's going to be going the mine build here, just putting mines all over the place. That prevents a lot of the rotations that want to happen here. And so what Complexity does to change that up is they go to a different lane and they push it as hard as they can. If they can't rotate, go to a different area, do something else on the map.
Yeah, and they are looking to potentially pick up somebody who's out of position too because they do have the Tyrande. And the way that they've got their lane set up, they have Uther up top so that they could get another stun if they were able to find somebody out of position. Leoric, he has the skeletal swing so he can slow somebody down. And then, of course, Raynor and bottom can throw down a lot of damage too. So they have it set up in a way so that if Arthas and Tyrande do find somebody out of position, they have somebody in every single lane who can help them take that out.
Relics playing so safe here. First off, they have a Nubarak and the Monk Karazim up here, which are very hard to gank. Look at that, burrow charge right away. The moment that Blinks got a little aggressive in that lane, you saw a Nubarak pull back. He's reading his opponent. Great read, able to pull back, miss a little bit of experience, but you don't get taken down, which is more important there than trying to miss a wave.
I also really like the pickup at level 1 for Relics is they've got the range on the Impale. A lot of times when you have that solo Anubarak as a support, you really have to take Region Master there, or as your warrior, because you really need him to be as tanky as possible. But because they have him with Johanna, they know that Johanna already is very, very tanky as is, so they can use him more as the utility getting into the back line. But Abathur here getting caught out by Blinks. Uther Abathur fights are very interesting.
Poor Worm, dude. He just wants to get out there and get the body soak. Unfortunately, not able to do so. A beautiful scout here, though. By the way, from Hans. He's sent a Sentinel over there in the top left corner to watch out for the Giant. However, they were not able to intervene. But they do get a solid positioning here with the Tribute.
Absolutely. I think Relics were kind of hoping maybe for the bottom tribute to spawn. That way they'd have Abathur and Giants pushing up here in top. As it is, they're not going to get as much done with that split push as it's right next to the tribute. But we aren't really seeing now. Abathur, in fact, went down to the bottom to try to push. So that does force Raynor to stay there to make sure that he continues to get experience for his team.
So all Hans is going to do here is try and delay. Raynor is at the very bottom. Really, Complexity gets it if they can. They're going to grab the tribute if they get into a situation to do so. Liork does transition up here, but it's not the end of the world if they do miss out on the tribute. You're going to have Hans poking a little bit, Blinks as well. They have two supports with range abilities that are pretty easy to hit as their linear skill shots. So you're going to see them just delay as Raynor just tries to push Raynor, Abathur in at the bottom lane.
Yeah, Liork actually even went back to mid, so you can tell Complexity have moved back. They're just throwing out what they can as delaying as long as possible.
Oh, wow.
Finally, it does get picked up right as the root hits, and Relics will be able to pick up the first tribute of the game.
Just a smidgen late on that Howling Blast, and it will not be able to deny that tribute. Now the question is, what does Complexity do from here? Do they transition down, grabbing Mercenary Camps, get pressure at the middle lane? Liork already in the middle lane, pushing as well. And what's very interesting to me is just how hardcore they're trying to push these lanes. Jackson's coming in with the body block. Can they get the Howling Blast? They do. A little bit of damage here. Mur low on HP, but he's going to be taken down for the first kill of the game.
First blood going to Complexity. They picked up their level 7 talents on top of that suit, so their early soak of the lanes has really started to pay off as they're being able to pick that up. And I really like too, Hans of course really enjoys this Tyrande build, picking up the piercing Sentinel at level 4 and then later on following that up with Ranger too, so it'll do more damage. But that's also very good on this battleground in particular because no matter what, you can't block that shot from stopping somebody from picking up the tribute.
Oh, the legendary laner just pushing all day until he gets ganked. Trouble doing some juking and jiving, trying to get away. He does have the ability to heal here. Will he run away from the area? No, Trouble's gonna get picked off with the support of Abathur, and that will help the Relics get back in this game because they are very behind in experience right now. One level behind. They tried to go heavily on the Mercenary Camps in the top left corner, and with the Johanna getting picked off, Abathur had to go soak that lane, which meant bottom lane was not getting soaked as Raynor pushed. And you see the results here as Complexity is nearly one level ahead.
Now we're also going to try to start working on the new Barrage, but he does have that symbiote on top of him, so it's going to be even more difficult to take him out. But at least, although Raynor was taken out, Complexity had the roam squad very close to that bottom lane, so they didn't miss out on any lane. So very good rotations coming out from Complexity in this early game. Nearly a full level lead so far already.
Yeah, right now it's all about the race to 10, right? Both teams have a tribute, which means they can give up the next tribute if they run into a situation where one member gets picked off. So Complexity might even give up the next tribute. They'll do a little bit of harassment with the Tyrande and the Uther, but they might just move straight to level 10. That way they can do a power play on potentially a boss or potentially pushing down a lane and getting a fort really quickly, especially if they take up that Hyperion.
Now, speaking of Raynor, I did want to mention, though, first of all, he's getting hit by Impale, but he does have a little bit of a build than we've seen in other games, as knowing that he is the very primary damage dealer, he has Season's Marksman, and then also got Revolution Overdrive. So he is getting more movement speed from that whenever he hits Inspire. That's going to help him escape this crazy amount of stuns that Relics do have.
Uther staying in the top lane, just trying to fight against Abathur here, and being level 10 Complexity, even though it is a potential 4 versus 4.5 with Abathur hat, they're going to walk up, grab this tribute, because the Relics cannot contest this. If they lose a fight, they fall farther behind. The better play here is to let them have the second tribute and fight for the next one when it's a third tribute for Complexity.
Right. The unfortunate thing for them is that was in their safe area, so that would have been the nice one for Relics to grab, but Complexity having those heroic abilities, good job by Relics denying as long as possible the ability for Complexity to get the full lane soak, but they did have to give that one up for sure.
Just a really quick note out of nowhere, Relics actually have the Jamma skin on Abathur, which is the best skin in the game, so congratulations to him.
Even better than Funny Bunny Murphy?
A little bit better for sure. Jax Smith getting some aggression here on Murray. He can hit the Drain Hope here, he'll start to drain some health. Nice being picked up here in the middle lane. Complexity wants to get a little bit of pressure in that mid lane for when that third tribute does spawn. It will be popping up very soon. At the same time though, I just want to commend Hans. He's been using Sentinel like crazy, always looking at map objectives. He just checked out the boss in the bottom left. Potentially that is a play that the Relics could have gone for, but he noticed that they are not there. That allows him to keep staying in lane and helping out Uther with the pushing in top lane.
I've said it before. Oh, seven-sided strike, and Liork already feeling the brunt of that, but Strife also used here, so 2 heroics down. 3 heroics down actually as Blessed Shield was used, so that at least will be something that Complexity has going for them into the next tribute fight, but they did lose Leoric for it, and I don't think that's going to be the first or last time. Well, it is the first, but the last time we see it.
Zay's is so surgical with Kerosene. We see it so many times. They blow up Leoric because, again, it's 49% of the health pool. All it's going to do is bring somebody down to help out in the fight, and suddenly there's no more Leoric. He goes back to his undead trait, starts floating around. However, Leoric will be available for this next fight. This is a third tribute. Complexity would love to get this thing.
Absolutely, and Relics does not want that to happen because they will be cursed, and it becomes much harder for them to come back into the game after they lose so many structures there. There is a small mercenary push here in the mid for Complexity, but looks like they're going for it. Lunar Flare goes on top of Revenant, and they'll be able to pick up the tribute right away.
It looks like he's going to get away the beautiful Nubrak, but it looks like Johanna is taking some damage down here. Bala on the bottom right does get obliterated. No, gets knocked back, actually is able to run away. That was actually the ultimate evolution from Abathur. Abathur almost caught there, but he's going to burrow away to the bottom lane, start soaking up. This fort, though, is in trouble. Nobody is here to defend it, and it's essentially free here for Complexity after a great team fight.
This is beautiful here for Complexity. They have nobody down, so they're able to push here. They've already taken out one fort, both lanes. The minions are already pushed hard too, so Complexity have a lot of options here, and it looks like they could be either going for the bot fort or to try to pick up the boss too, or even maybe potentially both, because Trinity has to get out of here. Will he get there in time? Candle's going for it!
Oh, he gets it! The worm! The worm is down now! The fort is gonna get picked up in the bottom lane as well, but another engagement in the middle. Seven-sided strike, punching a few people. There goes the Divine Shield, turning around here. Will Blinks go in? Jacksmith trying to grab the President Cap, a little bit too slow there with the old achy legs, but Ravenna is getting in, get punched as well. The Nubrak finally being taken down. Another member running away as well, and the Relics, 3 members down right now without they're unable to support.
3 members down, and they were cursed now. That nobody even up top at all to defend the minion push versus that fort. Complexity feeling very confident, going to go ahead and pick up the boss on the side of Relics, knowing that there are still members down, and they picked up 13 talents. So sitting very, very pretty here in game number 1.
Keeping the momentum going. You do see the Relics trying to move down, but it's a little bit too late there. And now with this goal, I'm taking down the bottom left corner. There's 2 options here for Complexity. Do they push with it and try and get a wall, or do they move to the very top right corner and get double boss push? It can be very powerful. Your opponents cannot fight against it. And seeing them all tap, it looks like they may actually want to push here with nope, they're actually starting to move up to the middle lane. They'll soak that up, and then it looks like they may go for the boss.
Yeah, they really don't want to lose any more ammo on the towers than needed so that their lanes can continue to kind of take care of themselves here. So they're just going to quickly clear that up while heading up to the other boss. This boss is going down fairly quickly, but Relics are clear down here in the bottom at their keep structure, so it will take quite a bit to rotate up, but Complexity moving fairly slowly, just really starting to get into position here. They have the Hunter's Mark to try to take it out, but Relics might still be able to get here in time.
Yeah, Trumbull actually isn't here. He's starting to move his way from the middle lane to the top right, but with a scout there from Toronto on Hans, you're going to be able to see the members coming in. They turn around for an engagement. York with March the Black King does hit one member, 7-sided strike, although pretty good on one-on-one situations. Not the great, the best of group. We see the ultimate evolution taken down there on Abathur. We do have a Nubrak in trouble. Revenant, can you get away? Do you have Burrow Charge? No, he is taken down. One member falling for the Relics. We do have Bala actually off her mount as well. She's low on HP and low on mana. And now, with the Complexity team low on HP, they might not be able to do boss. They're going to pull back, heal up, and take their winnings.
All right, so we might not have Hyperion into Cindergrosa, but we do have Hyperion into Starfall, and that is terrifying too because it's very difficult to try to get out of the Hyperion, which is what you need to do when you're slowed by the Starfall. So really cool to see that very big area damage coming out and being able to really zone using both of those abilities. Complexity now going to heal up and potentially not go after the boss now that we've got a tribute spawning out. It looks like they're changing direction a little bit, so we will most likely see a contest here at the boss, or at the tribute, as Relics are not quite underneath in terms of talents. They're caught back up for now.
Yeah, right now you're going to see the Complexity team have a couple of members try and maybe delay this tribute if anyone moves over there, because we do have Arthas grabbing the Giants, get pressure on that bottom lane. So you're going to see Jacksmith, the Owl, just try to walk in, do a little bit of damage. Finally, though, Arthas is showing up. And Complexity, near level 16, can potentially go in for a fight. They're looking for some kind of engagement. They're looking for the potential engagement on a Nubrak. He's been the target every single time. Looks like a huge 7-sided strike. Does knock down Arthas to half health. Divine Shield comes in at the last second. Is going to be able to help with the damage. Yeah,
Divine Shield really good to stop that 7-sided strike. Is absolutely needed there because if they could keep their warriors, their front line alive through that 7-sided strike, the Relics lose a lot of their big play here. Complexity getting dangerously close to 16 for Relics here. Lunar Flare on top of the Nubrak. Revenant throws back the Impale, trying to zone back away, but Murr so incredibly low. The Pierce nearly takes him out. He's just barely staying alive. Radiant dash helps with the heals there, but a Nubrak will fall instead.
Oh, you gotta feel bad for Revenant, man. He keeps using his burrow charge to get in situations where he can help out his team with the peeling, but he keeps getting picked off. The moment that ability has been used and they're able to sidestep the Veil Complexity, they just go straight for him every single time. And once a Nubra's taken out and Johanna's low on HP, this team has nothing for the engagement.
There's the Sentinel half health already, as we did have the pickup on Ranger there for it. But now that is the nice thing that Relics do have going for them, is even when they get into those fights, they have Abathur pushing in another lane, and because this battleground is so large, he really can get a lot of split pushing done before any rotation can come up for Complexity. So they were able to at least get a 4 down. They're getting closer to 16, but it's not here yet, and Complexity are going to put more pressure on with a boss.
Oh no, Ball in trouble. Just kidding. It's an ultimate evolution. However, they do not want to lose that on experience, and that experience will go to Complexity, so that will allow Abathur to get back to pushing into lanes. But unfortunate to lose that experience. He just wanted to be there and try and delay, but Complexity was already down to about a quarter health on that golem, and Johanna couldn't show up in time.
Now this is really good because Complexity have forced Relics into a situation, defend the boss, or go after this tribute here. There is a blessed shield into a 7-sided strike. Cattle getting low, but once again, the heals are going to be enough to keep him alive. Seems like it only works on the Skeleton King, not so much the Lich King.
Yeah, Arthas, one, can heal himself with Death Coil, and two, he already has support from Tyrande and Uther to heal that out. They're using 2 heroics to try and land that on Arthas, and they're never getting the kills here. So now suddenly Relics getting pushed into the top lane, have 2 major heroics that are down for a good 30 seconds, so they can really go for a major engagement unless Complexity goes a little too ham.
Yeah, they're already going to be able to pick up a lot of experience just from getting these towers here. And though the boss goes down, Howling Blast is on top of Revenant. He does burrow out of the Lunar Flare, though. Here comes the Hyperion on top of everyone, zoning away, potentially to go back in, or at least to just get Relics off of him long enough for Complexity to get away safely.
That Battlecruiser will get a little damage on that keep. Giants being grabbed as well to help supplement this push. Could this be the engagement that the Relics want? They did just hit 16. If they can maybe get to the back of Raynor, here comes Johanna running on in. She gets stunned immediately. A 4-man pull is pretty nice here. One member low on HP. March the Black King, though, will heal him up. Arthas going straight for Bird, trying to apply the damage. Zai's coming back to try and help. There goes 7-sided strike. It does some damage. Members low, but no, a Nubrak will be the first hero fall in this fight. Mir is forced to actually run away. Cattle trying to get in there. He hits the Healing Blast, and Jimmy with the last second hit. The keep here could potentially be in trouble, but with the tribute spawning, they're going to run down and try and grab that instead.
Trinity is here, though, deep tunneled in, but no.
Yeah, he's
realizing that the rest of the... So much damage to Abathur, just trying to get away at this point now. Will the chase happen? It seems like Complexity might just be content to pick this up and look at the next boss already, which is available.
Trying to have it out? Did she get it? No. Pull down just a little bit too long there. They will grab this tribute, and you are right, Gilly. The curse will be going on top of the Relics. Now, Complexity has a couple of options here. They're going to go ahead and back and heal up. They may, instead, with this push happening, maybe go for some mercenary camps. I believe the bottom left golem is up and available. Yes, it is. They might go grab the golem instead of actually going for a major push.
Yeah, the lanes are not super pushed here, and they don't have that talent advantage. So they might just try to help them out as long as possible, but get the boss and then move in with the boss at the end of the curse, hoping to pick up that keep, because they know that Relics really have to be watching all of their lanes, because they can't afford to just willy-nilly lose a keep to a minion push.
I like the decision here. They are ahead. They know that they have momentum, so they went ahead and did a couple of tests. They put a little bit of pressure on the bottom lane. They sent a couple of owls in the middle lane just to find out what the positioning was for the Relics. Once they found out they were pretty spread out and kind of focused on trying to soak, they went ahead and went straight for the golem. Great decision making by them. Now, will it pay off? The golem low on HP. We have all the members here for the Relics running on in. We do have Johanna potentially getting on top of this mercenary camp. Cattle trying to hold it down. There goes a nice Luna Flare on a Nubrak. He's low on HP. Trinity trying to apply damage to Trumbull as well. 7-sided strike does go down, but Cattle holds the mercenary camp. 2 members already down for the Relics, and Jackson wants to chase.
Taking down Johanna was absolutely key there, and let's not forget that Raynor not only has Giant Killer, but Berserk, which really helps that out. Even though Johanna does have imposing presence, they were able to make it work and get her off of that cap point. Leoric even using the March of the Black King there just to stay alive, knowing that they had 2 warriors on top of the cap point to just the Johanna of Relics.
This is a dead keep for sure. The question is, do they go for the core? 20 seconds until Karazim is up, as well as the other member on the team. So here we go, the bushing happening, walking forward. Jackson even uses his Wraith Walk to get closer quicker. Starts going ham on the core here, low on HP. Member spawning in 10 seconds. Will Relics be able to defend this? It's not looking like it. 50%, 40%, 30%, 20%. Game number 1 is going to go to Complexity as they take out the Relics in the first match.